Let God turn your suffering into strength. The world we live in right now is not the world that God first designed. He designed literally a paradise. There's no sorrow, no sickness, no pain, no death. But when sin came into the world, well, all that got ruined, and we live in what we brought into the world. That is a sin-filled world. And in this world, there's suffering. Most people don't have to be reminded of that. Whatever you're going through right now, it seems very heavy. You may seem very alone in it. But there is strength to be found through your suffering. God does that. How does that work? Well, God lets us know in Scriptures, in the book of Romans, that, first of all, He wants to be invited into every part of our life, even our suffering. And so we're to pray without ceasing. We ask Him into the suffering. And as we do that, we can expect strength and some good things come out of it. You see, the word that's used there is tribulation. And that comes from a tribulum, which is a kind of a sled that's pulled usually by an oxen over the wheat that's been cut down and put on the threshing floor. On the bottom of the sled, there's sharp stones that cut and separate the wheat from the chaff. You see, in the suffering, there's both. There's the chaff, the bad feelings, the things that don't go right, and yet there is also blessing if we're to separate them and find it. So in that tribulation, we're told that when we bring God into the process, that tribulation can actually lead to endurance. That endurance comes from the time and again exposure to suffering or to difficulty. If you've ever gone to the gym to work out your muscles, you know they get sore. And they get sore because they're actually suffering, going through a tribulation. But that suffering causes them to come back stronger. And so the more they're exercised, the stronger they get. The same is true with us as human beings. The more we go through difficulty, the stronger we can get if we let God be our guide, if we're trusting in Him. As we get stronger and we build up that stamina, then we develop a character. And when I say character, I think of that old weathered face of a man that's been working in the sun for many years, and as many years talk about his wisdom and say all sorts of stories just in the lines. When we have character of spirit, it means that there's a depth, that we can toss out the fear, we can separate the chaff and the grain to know what it is to hang on to and what it is that needs to be tossed away. In that character, we can look at suffering and say, you know what? God has seen me through suffering in the past, and God will see me through this time as well. In that stamina, I can keep going. In that character, or that wisdom, I know that this will not last forever, that I will come out the other side. God will not allow me to be destroyed. No matter what may happen to my body, no matter what may happen to my economy, God will see me through if I but trust Him. And God's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. God doesn't change. And so that character or spirit says, just like God saw me through those things, He will also see me through this. And finally, we're told that that character turns into hope. Hope. And that's strength. That's power. When we have hope, we can keep going. The ones who don't have hope, they fall to the wayside very quickly. If you've been suffering for a long time, you may feel like, well, you've given up hope. Don't give up hope. Gain hope. Gain it by turning your life, your suffering over to the care of God. Allow God to work in and through it and develop stamina, develop character, bring out that grain, that fruit of hope. Because when we have hope, we can endure so much. And not only that, but we have something to give to others when they're suffering, when they're trying to build stamina. And as their characters are being developed, we can share that hope. That's the good news of the gospel. We have hope not because of us. We have hope because of God. God can turn suffering into strength if we let Him walk with us through the trials. Hope that you'll do that today.